Hello everyone, thank you for coming in today to view my presentation. My name is Cordoza, and for my May project, I interned at Music Choice. Now, Music Choice is an entertainment production company that specializes in broadcasting music, music videos, music-related content to cable television and their providers, such as Verizon, Optimum, and they've been providing these online, mobile, and cable video-on-demand content for its viewers since its release back in 1987. Now, I spent my time at Music Choice mentoring under a man named Nolan Baines. Nolan Baines is the senior marketing manager at Music Choice. It was a privilege to learn from Nolan, who has a really strong background in music marketing due to his 5 years experience working at Music Choice and previous work experience for MTV. Now, working at MTV, he did both production management and marketing, but now he just specializes in marketing management. During the last couple weeks, I would assist my mentor Nolan whenever possible, doing anything from typical internship duties like fetching drinks to more hands-on activities like helping him track down artists and finding their brand and their following. Now, the Music Choice Video on Demand section holds tons of different exclusive content like interviews and contests. Luckily, I get to sit in and watch some of the production team film these interviews. One artist I got to see while I was there was an artist named Tweet. She's a soul singer. Do any of you know who Tweet is?
No. You have a picture?
Huh? Do I have a picture of her? No, I didn't. I actually should have added. Well, Tweet is a soul singer. I actually didn't know who she was. So when I was sitting in while they were filming her interview, I was more interested at seeing like the big cameras, the lights, the production, how they set it up, than the actual interview. Now, it was pretty cool to watch how the production team went about filming the interview. I also had the privilege to follow Nolan Baines around to different marketing meetings and conference calls. Now, I don't know if this was a Music Choice thing or a music industry thing, but a lot of the meetings were pretty laid back and chill. It wasn't like a bunch of people in suits sitting around a table discussing for 12 hours. Now, they would discuss whatever the topic was at hand, but it was a lot friendlier of an environment in their meetings. They weren't taking it as serious as I guess you'd see in like TV and movies when they're having their big business meetings. Now, some of the meetings I got to attend one meeting where, well, actually the Music Choice team, when I first got there, they had a team of producers who were just returning from the Billboard Music Awards. And at the Billboard Music Awards, they held a little sweepstakes and contest where people who entered had a chance to meet Nick Jonas and go backstage with Music Choice. So I got to see the results of that in the video that they took there of like the two teenage girls who won. They were all screaming for Nick Jonas. I got to go with him to another meeting for this website and company called Bands in Town. It was a partnership meeting where they tried to discuss an advertising partnership between Bands in Town and Music Choice. Now, Bands in Town is pretty much just a website where you can go to find tickets and information on when your favorite band or artist is playing next or where they're playing next. Another meeting I got to sit on in was a partnership between Amazon, because Amazon is trying to start up their music live streaming services. So I got to sit in during a conference call as he talked with some of the leaders at Amazon on how they can make this work, how they can make it happen. I got to follow him to a meeting between Music Choice and an artist by the name of Jay Watts, who's a new and upcoming artist. You guys probably haven't heard of him, but they were discussing ways to help brand him and how to push his content through the Music Choice platform and how to get him a good start. Now, I was also given the privilege to go with Nolan to some of the recording studios that they record these artists at. That was pretty cool also, because being able to follow him to the recording studios. I personally would like to become a music producer when I get older. So being able to follow him to the recording studios was pretty cool, getting to see how the professional producers would make the tracks and how their setups and everything was a pretty good learning experience. Now, being able to shadow such an accomplished marketing manager like Nolan was helpful for me personally for my own goals of becoming a musical producer. Whenever we would have free time, he would spend it giving me different marketing and management tips that I could use to help push my own music through, whether it's online or trying to get it played on radio, DJs, things like that. He would give me tons of insight and help on the process of becoming an artist, since he's been through it with so many artists before, and he's helped them go from their starts as not being known to big musical moguls. And he would constantly give me different advice that could help me to promote my own music and my own brand. Another thing I learned while being with him was the sort of how the music industry is different from every other business, because the music industry is all about the work that you could get for yourself. They don't actually give you assignments, or at least for him, the way he was explaining it, you're not given any jobs or tasks to complete. You have to go out on your own to find jobs and tasks that will help your brand and help your company to get bigger. So the music industry is more of a hustle than just a normal 9-to-5 job. I found this interesting, and it actually intrigued me, because I would rather like to go out and sort of find work on my own than be given the work and being told what to do for my work. Thank you very much for sitting in my presentation. If you have any questions. If you have any questions, I will answer them now. Yes?
Did your mentor give you an idea of how he got started on the path to this job?
Yes, he did. He actually started similar to the way that I was doing. He started out, he was an aspiring artist, and he met someone in the music industry. Forgive me, I don't remember all the specifics, but he met someone in the industry who helped him to go on to his path, and he eventually decided that he would rather work the behind the scenes than being the actual upfront artist, and that's how he got his start.
So you must have really enjoyed playing this role for you.
Yeah.
Sort of giving back a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And how did you find your mentor, and how many hours do you work a week?
Well, my schedule was close to 20 hours a week. We would usually start late in the day at 11, but it would go later on to like late at night, like 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. I'm sorry, what was your first question?
Your mentor, how did you find him?
How did I find him? I actually got to know him through my dad, who's sitting in the back. My dad coaches his son's basketball team, so it all worked out just like that. Yes. Yes.
Miles, I'm wondering how you're going to use this experience to go forward. I love this last visual, turning my passion into a career. What's your next step based on this experience? How can you use this to go forward?
Well, my next step, basically taking all the different hints and advice that he gave me to try and make the music on my own. Another thing that I learned with him is that independent artists, it's a lot harder to become an independent artist, but the rewards are a lot greater than becoming an artist who has to deal with a label and everything like that. So my goals would be to take what he's taught me and try to build something on my own independently. Like, because he's given me marketing tips, for example, social media is like the huge big thing now for artists. So focusing to put your music on as many social media websites as possible, finding a brand like sticking to one name, getting it out as much as possible, things like that. And I would also like to stay with him and work with him in Music Choice Studios to try and be around the artists, because while I was there, I actually had the opportunity to play some of my music for some producers, and they actually really liked it, and they invited me to go back to their studios sometimes to work with them more. So I'm hoping to do some more with that. Yes?
What did you find was the most helpful piece of advice he gave you?
The most helpful piece of advice was probably not to sell out. I mean, I know it doesn't have to do as much with like the branding and the actual industry, but he was telling me why like I should stay true to the music I make. Don't try to make it sound like somebody else's or what you hear all the time on the radio, because that's just gonna make you one of the other million people trying to do it. So just stick to myself, do my own thing, and try to separate myself from the crowd. Yes?
Sorry I was late.
It's fine.
So you might say that, what were the challenges that you were facing? Like things that you assumed that are going to be one way, but you found that they were going to be different?
Some of the challenges. Well, it's interesting because I've actually, this isn't my first time meeting up with him at Music Choice. I've been meeting him there and following him around for a while now. So coming into the project, I sort of knew what I was going to be getting into. But I guess going way back to the first time ever going to Music Choice, some of the challenges were probably, one, making an impression is always a big challenge because I'm trying to make it into the music industry, and here's a bunch of people who work in the music industry. So if you make the wrong impression, it could pretty much damage your career forever. Well, I don't know about forever, but making a good impression was a pretty big challenge. And not much of a challenge, but something that I realized that I guess could be a challenge was the steps to actually becoming an artist or making it into the music industry is a lot. There are a lot more steps than I imagined there would have been when I first just thought, oh, I want to become a music producer. So those were like the big challenge. Yes? Mr. Reiser, you had your hand up first.
Is this going to change your plans for your further education in any way? Or what you gonna say?
My plans for further education were actually built around this. My plan for next year is I'm going to Rutgers to study marketing. So I pretty much planned my further education around trying to make this my career. You had a question?
Yeah, I was asking if you were going to share any of your music so that we can hear it before it.
I don't have anything with me. I don't have anything with me, and I couldn't add anything onto Google Slides. I do not.
I know this is probably why you're going to Rutgers, but just take a shot at this question. How's marketing music different than marketing straws or baseball gloves or Audi?
From what I understand, it's not. It's pretty similar. You're trying to get someone to purchase the product that you're trying to sell or push. So I'm trying to also, I'm not going specifically for music marketing. I'm going for marketing in general to learn to sell anything or to market any product. But from what I understand, there's not much of a difference between them.
So if I can just follow up, as an artist, would you like there to be a difference?
No, because if there is a difference, it would be harder to learn, I think, because you'd have to learn separately. And also, if you know how to market, I think if it was together, it would make it easier to market, for example, music. You could market merchandise. You could market whatever else that I would try to sell along with the brand that I would be trying to build. So I think it would be a lot easier if there was one set of rules to follow for everything. Yeah.
The media is changing so rapidly. Do you have a sense what you think will be different by the time you're out of college about this industry?
I don't have a sense on what I think will be different, but I do know that it will definitely be different by then, because it's media, the way it's changing all the time, constantly. So for all I know, next thing I could try to focus on making social media a big deal for branding, and then in 2 years that's falls off. Or I could focus on trying to sell merch, and then all of a sudden nobody wants to purchase merchandise anymore. I honestly wouldn't know how to go about that. Yes.
So you're a musician. What's your genre, who your influences, and where do you think your own personal musical journey may go in the future?
Well, my genre is hip hop. I produce hip hop beats. Some of my influences I actually pull influences from different genres. I pull influences from Afrobeat music like Fela. I have influences from jazz like Miles Davis, who I was named after. I pull influences from hip hop artists like MF Doom, hip hop producers like Madlib, all people like that. What was your other?
Where are you going to go? Where is the future of your particular music, do you think might go?
The future of like the genre of music, or just the music that I make?
Do you think you will go with your own personal style, taste?
Hopefully, well, my ultimate goal would be to start up my own record label and release music from there. So that is where I want it to go. I don't know where it will go. For all I know, this could all change and I decide I want to become a manager instead. Or this could all change and I want to work as producing music videos or something else. All I don't know is that I do want to work in the music industry. But as of right now, I'm focused on becoming an artist. Yes?
Can you explain what's in the picture on the...
Oh, this picture?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry. This is actually a microphone with a stand. This is studio foam or acoustic foam that is used for recording to make the vocal quality sound better. This is a pop filter so you don't spit on the microphone or blow wind into the mic while recording. And these are basic headphones. And over here are keyboards. I'm sorry, I was blocking this picture the whole time. Any other questions? Thank you very much for watching this.